Okay, day 28, 4th of November 2014, which is actually Melbourne Cup Day. One of the biggest race days in Australia. So going on to the journey of a life coach, whether it's a scam or success. I don't know if I mentioned yesterday. Yesterday was the first day I've uploaded these videos onto YouTube. I'm actually working with a journal and decided to start documenting the affirmation for the day, the goals of the day, the goals, 3-month goals, 6-month goals, 1-year goal and 3-year goals, and they count down. So once the 3-month goal is up, we've still got the 6-month goal, which is 3 months long, but then we set a new 6-month goal, so on and so forth. And I also put in here what books I finish on the day, if I finish any. And then when I turn the page over, I've got the next day, but I'll put notes on the left hand side of anything that I can think of the day before to add into today. Just being distracted there by Nick, perfect timing for her. So reading through today's events, the affirmation, pretty much the same as yesterday. Today I'll do everything in my power to reduce my weight to below 109 kilos by the 25th of December 2014. I will complete my exercise, eat healthily and focus to ensure my back is as strong as it can be. Now the goals today I had set, we did have a bit of a late start this morning. The plan is to get up around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, have a bite to eat, go off and do the exercise, come back and do the videos. I'm actually staying at my mum's at the moment. We don't have an alarm clock, which is not an excuse. That's just the way we're running things after our holiday. We're slowly getting back into our routines. So we head back home next week. So this week we're just gradually getting back into it. So the goals that I did actually set for today, I'm going to reallocate for tomorrow. And I've decided that being Melbourne Cup Day is one of my favourite days that I really enjoy. We're going to go off and enjoy that, have lunch, have a few beers and watch the horses run around. So there's nothing to regret. I'm not regretting that I didn't achieve the goals that I was going to set. I'm really happy and content that I'm happy to have the day off because it is a favoured day of mine, and move it on till tomorrow. I've then want to go through the reflection of what's happened yesterday. So it's actually day 20 of being smoke free. Yay! And last night I worked through till 10 o'clock and got my business cards ready for the December initiation meeting with the Coaching Institute. So that was a goal I was actually going to set for today, but I got a bit ahead of myself and did it yesterday. But that meant the 2 other goals that I wanted to do yesterday I didn't actually achieve were write the interview questions for the book and start reading a new book. So they're 2 things I'll have to put in for tomorrow. What else? I had a disagreement with Nick. We were talking about a book that she's going to write, that we sort of came up with the idea about ownership and the idea. There was a bit of conflict there, so it wasn't oozing with positivity. There was a lot of negative speak, a lot of pointing the finger, a lot of passing the buck and passing the responsibility and so on and so forth. Then I also had some frustrating / negative emotions towards one of the training companies I work for. They've changed their policies, and me being an overthinker and an over planner in the past has sort of pushed me towards trying to control these situations and getting frustrated with things that I can't have anything to do with. So it's identifying that emotion or that feeling and trying to let it go. I know that I've got to stop trying to control things that I have no impact on. So we're then down to the the medium to long term goals. So it's 89 days to go, which is the 1st of February, to have 3 of my coaching books completed, and 1 paying public speaking gig. 179 days, which is the 6-month gig, and that is to have a cruise booked, so a business cruise booked, which I didn't write down. And then the 364-day goal is now to have a lucrative, successful business that's bringing me in over 100k per annum, which I think is a very simple goal. I'll hit that well before the 1-year mark. And that's me trying to be positive and confident. It's not trying to be arrogant. And then the 3-year goal, which is down to 1,094 days, is to have our unit paid off, which is the 3rd of November 2017. So they're my three areas: affirmation, reflection and goals. So there was one thing I wanted to mention. I can't exactly remember what they were. Well, that's the point of this book. I didn't write them down. Just mentioning the fact that up until starting this journey, I was a heavy smoker, I was a heavy drinker, I was a heavy gambler. Played a lot of the poker machines. Didn't bet so much on horses. I play a lot of poker, but it's free poker, but to some that's still a format of gambling. So these are things that I want to identify which is positive and which is negative in my life. I've noticed, obviously with the smoking, I decided I can do that on my own. 2 days into having the patches, I decided to take the patches off and do this on my own free will, which has been very successful. I do still get urges. They're going to dissipate. I'm telling myself they are going to dissipate. They were maybe every half hour to hour when I started. Now they're down to maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Eventually they'll get down to every second day, every third day, so on and so forth. And I'm not stating the obvious. I'm just reinforcing in my subconscious that that's the way I'm going to start thinking. As for drinking, I've been a binge drinker, big time. I was talking to Nick about it this morning. To the vicinity of barbecues and things like that, could go through 18 to 20 beers, and then half a bottle of scotch or bourbon, whatever you want to call it. So the last couple of weeks, since I've identified that, I've sort of had 3 or 4 beers and been content with that. So I think I'm changing my mindset on how much I need to drink and why I need to drink and what it's for. It goes back to the confidence thing, and I get to a level where the walls seem to drop, and I'm focusing more on dropping those walls in natural everyday life. So it's about being positive, being confident with who I am and how I look and how I'm perceived by other people, and acting the way I want to act, and not having to have alcohol to be able to act that way. So it's not about having a regret of drinking too much or feeling like I drink too much. It's just replacing that confidence when I have had a drink to when I haven't had a drink, and have that confidence then. So from what I understand, from what I'm reading and learning, it's the initial point is to identify it and realize what you're doing. And the sooner you do that, or that's half the battle, is actually working it out, and then you'll find a solution. Whether you work on that solution or whether it comes to you is something that time will tell. But I'm confident and happy that I've done it with the smoking, and I'm just doing it a little step by step with the gambling. It's a bit contradictory being Melbourne Cup Day, but I thought it's a good day to mention it anyway, because I know I will have a bet. I've allocated a certain amount of money that I've saved for having a bet, and I'm not expecting to win. I'm expecting to enjoy myself, and I know I will. But my goal, my subtle goal, without actually writing in here because it's imprinted in my brain, is to reduce the amount of poker machine play. I know that they're dead money. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. But no buts. It is the realisation that the IT geeks and the people that are back behind them, they set the lights and the music and all that to hit that part of your brain that gets you addicted or interested in these machines. So as Sharon said in one of her CDs, it's not about just stopping cold turkey. It's about appreciating that you get some sort of stimulus out of playing those machines. So rather than trying to go without that stimulus, it's about finding the stimulus somewhere else. Which I found last week when I substituted reading a book that I was really enjoying, that seemed to work. But by no means am I suggesting that I'm this massive reader. I'm actually someone who has not enjoyed reading too much over the past few years. Nick, being an English teacher and a writer and a reader, she's tried to push me into reading, which is sort of what's against me. But for me, it's about finding something I'm really interested in reading. And this whole journey that I'm going on is introducing me to new books. So that's the way I'm going. So I'm heading up into the 10-minute mark, and I don't want these videos to go too much longer than 10 minutes a day. The plan is to drop it down slowly, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. But as I'm introducing this video log and trying to recap on what I've done over the last few weeks, it'll soon get into a routine of just talking about today and yesterday. But thanks again. Happy Melbourne Cup Day. Go sign off.